Welcome to Season 3 of The Short Score, the Team Roping Journal's weekly news update show, where you can find the latest on the sports leaders from the jackpot world of the USTRC and the World Series of Team Roping to the pro rodeo ranks. I'm Chelsea Schaefer.
And I'm Caitlin Gustav.
And we'll be your hosts. Well, hi Caitlin.
Hi, Chelsea.
This feels like dispatches from the edge. Like, I feel this is okay. So, all joking aside,
Don't
I feel
breathe
like
on me.
I'm not breathing on you, but I think we've spent enough time together over the last week that you've got it if I've got it.
Yeah.
So absolutely, we might be joking to make light of this situation, but we know that there are people that are exponentially more people every day that are affected by the coronavirus. So we are thinking about them, and we are taking this seriously. Caitlin and I are doing this podcast from my kitchen, from my dining room specifically. So yeah, we are here. We are working from home. We are business as usual, though, as far as working from home goes. We are still full steam ahead, working on the May issue of the Team Roping Journal, which will hopefully, with everything we can hope and pray for, will be full of event ads for events that are still happening. For hopefully this gets past us by April, and we're
Fingers crossed.
This is just something that we will tell our kids about someday. So that's my hope. But with that said, there are still ropings happening that we want to talk about. The first one is the Hork Dog, which was the 21st edition of the Hork Dog.
In Stephenville,
Texas, the whole new side of the country.
Right.
So Coleman Proctor and Jake Long won that. We'll have a story by Paula Cooper up on our website here within the day on that win. So congrats to Coleman and Jake, just like old times.
Coleman won second also with Ryan.
Money,
so
yeah.
Lots of money being won.
Yeah, at a very key time for money to be won, for sure.
Definitely.
I talked to Garrett Tanazi yesterday. We were working on a story, and he was like, man, I feel unemployed for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of definitely how it seems like a lot of the rodeo cowboys and people who make a living roping are feeling right about now.
It's not funny, but it's funny because if you're on social media and if you follow all the guys, the pro rodeo guys' pages, they're all popping up with schools and it's not funny, but it's funny because everyone's doing it now. They got to make money somehow since rodeos are kind of on a slope right now.
Yeah, it seems like there's still some open ropings going on. There's small gatherings. Hopefully people aren't high-fiving, shaking hands. I know people are getting creative.
Elbow.
Yeah, I saw some barrel racers posting that they're doing a no-contact barrel race where, you pull in, you stay at your trailer, you pay via PayPal, you enter via PayPal. It's going to pay out via PayPal, so there's no contact with the office help. So I think people are going to start to get really creative. I know we've been in lots of meetings with the associations figuring out what's going on, which we'll talk about more here later in the podcast. But with that said, really quickly, we want to hear what kind of creative things your folks are doing. So I've never asked ropers to do this before, but there's a voice memo option on your phone. I would absolutely be thrilled if you all would take the time, anybody that's listening to this podcast that might have some extra time on their hands, and talk about how you're dealing with the coronavirus and its limitations into your voice memo app. So go ahead and record a voice memo and email it to me at cschaeffer, SHAFFER, at AIMMEDIA.com. How's it affecting your day-to-day life? I know there's a lot of ranchers out there that aren't super affected by it, which is a blessing, and how you're dealing with it and what creative ways your local roping community is working on it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see everyone's take on it.
Yeah, if you record that voice memo, we'll put it on a podcast later in the week. Very excited to hear from you all. I sure hope that you can help us with this because we want to talk, someday in 10 years, 50 years, this is going to be a recording of what's actually going on at the time.
During time.
Yeah, I mean, I know I talked to Denny and he said, he didn't really have any precedent for what's happening now. So so we are writing the precedent for, what could be more things like this happening in the future. So anyway, let us know how you're dealing with it, what responsible ways your local roping community is keeping the roping world alive. I can't wait to hear it because I'm excited and want you all to be keeping the roping community and the roping way of life alive, though, so many of our events are canceled, and I want everybody to be safe in the process. So I want to hear how you're doing it safely. All right, we keep circling back to that because it's kind of hard not to
it's hard not to talk about it.
It's strange to talk about team roping, though, I want nothing more than to just talk about day-to-day team roping and what's going on. If you were on social media, you
better have some snappy head loops.
Oh, yeah. That's what
and heel shots.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the angle you were going.
That wasn't where I was going to go with this, but I did notice my husband outside roping the dummy. I was like, man, I bet everybody's just getting a lot of dummy roping in right now. Hope you're all roping the dummy.
I better start roping the dummy.
Speaking of snappy heel shots, though, or sharp heel shots, Paul Eves caught 2 feet with a horse on top of him at the Hork Dog. So check out the Hork Dog's Facebook page. Rodeo Mania video, I think, is who posted it. Paul had a terrible wreck, has a bad concussion, but him and his horse are okay, are going to be okay. But that video has circulated the whole interwebs. So if you haven't seen it, holy cow.
Like, as much as that was so scary that happened, that was pretty wicked. Like, you can't stop Paul Eves from catching 2 feet.
No, and it was nuts to see the whole thing unfold. It was super scary. I know you had been watching the live feed. I hadn't been. So you text me right away, and I went back and watched it on what was saved on the live feed, and it gives you chills. It'll make you sick to your stomach. So check that out if you haven't. Extreme team roping still happened the day after. Extreme team roping big break. It's an FTR earnings roping. So Ben had good numbers this weekend. Lots of ropers came out to participate. My word on the street was that everybody was, very careful. Not a lot of handshaking going on. Not a lot of close contact, but I was glad to see ropers participate.
Still entered.
Yeah, still entered. The Heartland 10.5 paid $25,000. That was a Shelley Productions roping.
From last weekend.
Last weekend?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Gotcha. That was a good one. And Tunica, Mississippi with John Johnson's roping was also another good one. Numbers were strong there. Yeah, I talked to Gary Pointhress, who runs our computer software that tracks all these ropings, and he said ropers were participating last weekend. No indication that people are staying home. They're just staying safe, hopefully. So.
Stay hungry. Keep after it. Yeah, stay healthy, but stay hungry.
They're staying safe. There's lots of rodeos that are canceling. Obviously, team roping just draws in the recreational ropers. There's not a huge crowd. Like we said earlier, we don't want necessarily. We said this on our website, and we said it on the Cowboy Channel earlier, that we don't want, you bringing your whole family necessarily to a roping. You don't need to bring a whole cheering section because you can't really control what the kids do and if they stay safe. But glad to see everybody still out there participating where they can. The rodeos, though, are canceling because...
Canceling or postponing.
Yeah, because you can't have just a ton of fans in the stands.
No,
so...
And that's hard for rodeos because, they have to factor that in. They do get money from... everyone buying tickets to watch those rodeos. So, like everyone, I've seen it, like everyone's saying, like, well, why don't they just make it a big slack? And, like, I thought that too. And now I'm, like, breaking it down in my head. I'm like, no, they make money from the Cowboys, but they make money from the people watching.
Yeah, that's how they can afford to put the rodeos on and have their insurance and everything else that the committees have to have. So, yes, the PRCA, though, has a site dedicated to the virus and their updates. So if you go to ProRodeo.com, they've got all of their information there.
Since timed event.
Yeah, so
went on.
So with everything going on, I stayed home this weekend. Yeah. So with everything going on, I stayed home this weekend just because I have a young daughter and older parents too. Which, sorry, Mom and Dad, for calling you older. If you listen to this, I do. So I stayed home out of precaution. But Kendra Santos, she was there at the timed event watching her son Taylor Santos and her other son Lane Carney. Taylor won the timed event. So Kendra got to see him win $103,000, which was awesome. We will wait for her story on that later in the week. She usually turns things in right away after things happen, but she said, hey, can I enjoy this moment with Taylor? And I said, absolutely. So I think it'll be worth it once we get to see her story, though. So
definitely.
Very excited for that. All right, so it's Tuesday. It is Tuesday, March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day. Actually,
I'm wearing green.
Yeah, you are. Oh, you are. Yeah,
my shirt. Oh, yeah, my vest has it on too, but my shirt definitely is all green.
Yes. So
I'm wearing a lot of colors right now, you guys. It's fine.
So at this moment, this is usually the point of the podcast where we do our updates about what ropings are coming up. Right now, we know that the roping is going to happen from the the roping at the San Antonio Rose Palace this weekend. It's the South Texas Championships. They've moved it, and it's going to happen. The ropings at the Lazy E are canceled for 2 weeks. Right now, the Wiley Hicks Jr. in Amarillo is still happening. So we will slowly update as we know. I know that the associations told me this morning that Tuesday every week they are going to update the website with what ropings are or are not happening, and then we will keep keep that list really fresh at the USTRC, USTRC.com, WSTRroping.com, and TeamRopingJournal.com. We will alert you of the ropings that are happening.
The big news right now is that the USTRC Cinch National Finals will be moved to September 7th through the 14th, and they will still be held in Fort Worth, Texas.
That's out of an abundance of caution. There's lots of different government guidelines coming out right now. The mayor of Fort Worth is asking events to hold off. So, yes, all events in Fort Worth are canceled for the time being. That's coming from the mayor of Fort Worth. Even the Kentucky Derby is postponed at this point. But I'm excited that we are not canceling the U.S. finals this year. They are postponed. So the city of Fort Worth worked with us, got us dates already. The office is going to be calling every roper who entered the U.S. finals to find out whether or not they want to roll their entries to September. So look for a call from Albuquerque. Guys, if you get a call from Albuquerque, it is not somebody calling to raise your number. It is not. You're not in trouble. They are calling to see if
they're helping you.
They're calling to help you out to see if you want to roll your entries. We sure hope you do. September is an awesome time to be in Fort Worth as well. It'll be green. It'll be pretty. The botanical gardens will be pretty for the families right there next door. So it'll be a good time to be in Fort Worth. We will keep our plans going. We're going to have a live podcast every day from U.S. finals. Lots of exciting stuff. If you've got sale horses for the sale, I suppose you need to decide if you're going to feed them a little bit longer. But I hope so. Hopefully you can have a little bit more time to market them, and the economy will bounce back up and all will be well. So look for that phone call. Look for that announcement. We'll have it out this afternoon. So, guys, in these tough times, remember, send us a voice memo. We'll put instructions on the website, too, as how you can do that. Send us a voice memo about what you're dealing with, how your community, your open community, is banding together in this time. We need some encouragement. We want it to come from y'all. So shoot us an email, cshaffer@AIMMEDIA.com. All right, everybody. Thanks, and talk to you soon.